Good afternoon, Villa fans, and welcome to a match preview of the FA Cup tie at Villa Park on Friday night. Aston Villa taking on West Ham, third round of the FA Cup. Really want to see us take this competition seriously and go as far as we can in this. I do think this is a route to a trophy that we so badly want to achieve. And starting with West Ham, we need to get past this first kind of obstacle. So West Ham are in a bit of turmoil. Let's jump in straight into it. Today, they've sort of cancelled their press conference or pre-match conference. Julian Lopetegui is under a lot of pressure. Should he stay or should he go? One of those sort of ones. If he stays, there will be trouble. If he goes, there could be double. There you go. So Graham Potter linked, I think already sounded out for the job. It's just a matter of time. Do they pull the trigger before the FA Cup tie? Do they give him one last game? Do they get an interim manager in place for this game? Who knows? But, you know, Aston Villa celebrating their 150th anniversary as well. We've got a new kit for Friday. It's a black one, apparently. Had a look at it on the website. Looks quite nice. Looks very T-shirt-ish. But, yeah, nice enough. And I'm sure that Unai is going to be sort of ringing the changes for this game as well. Even though I want to take this seriously and I want to go far in the competition, we've got a busy January. We've got, Everton coming up on Wednesday, which you could say is a more important game. Then we're, going into sort of Champions League. We've got Arsenal, we've got Monaco, Celtic, I think West Ham again in the league. So a fair few sort of fixtures coming up that, priorities need to take place. And obviously, given the injury situation that we have at the club, I know it's January and we can bring in players, but nothing has come through the door at the moment. We need to make sure that we are managing the minutes of certain players. Certain players only just come back from injury, so they can't be relied on to play every single game. So I'll come on to my predicted lineup in a little while. But yeah, if we look at sort of West Ham's last 5 games, they lost 4-1 to Man City. They lost 5-0 at home to Liverpool. They beat Southampton 1-0, which everyone seems to beat Southampton. Then they drew 1-1 with Brighton and Bournemouth. So 1 win in the last 5, 2 spanking in the last 2 games, which has obviously put Lopetegui under considerable amount of pressure. They're without their star man, Jared Bowen, who's their captain, and he's got 6 goals for the season. Obviously, Michael Antonio is out injured at the moment as well, and best wishes and speedy recovery for him after his unfortunate car accident. But it looks like he could be out for the whole season. And then they're struggling for goals across the pitch. Obviously, they've got a really dangerous player in Mohamed Kudus. And I do expect West Ham to go strong for this game because they need to, get a win on the board, get the fans back on side. So they will be taking this competition and this particular tie very seriously. Mohamed Kudus is there. They don't have any European games either. So they've got, literally this and Premier League to contest with. So it's not a case of them trying to balance out European football and things like that. So Kudus, 3 goals for them. Paquetá, 3 goals as well. Souček, who always seems to get a goal against us or play well against us, he's got 4 goals this season. As I mentioned, Jared Bowen's got 6, but he's out for this game. And then Nicholas Füllkrug, who I thought would be a good signing for them. Saw him play in the Euros and thought, he would be someone that would be sort of Premier League ready. But he's been in and out with injuries and things like that. But they've got him on sort of 2 goals. We're probably going to see maybe Danny Ings play up front for this or Füllkrug. So Danny Ings coming back to Villa Park. I'm sure that he'll want to sort of prove a point. It's basically Ings against Watkins, isn't it, really, if you look at it. And then, so they've got some dangerous players. Somerville, the winger that they got from Leeds, was a good championship-level player. Hasn't been consistent in the Premier League. They've got midfield players like Soler, who actually we were linked with before he joined West Ham. He came from PSG, I think, on loan, I think it was. I'm not sure if it was a permanent. But, they're currently sitting 14th in the Premier League, which isn't brilliant. Same points as Man United. But I think it's a game that we need to take seriously. There will be rotation in it, in the lineup. I want to see us go far in this competition. I mean, we've been knocked out at the 3rd round and 4th round every year since we got to the final in 2015, where we got beat 4-0 by Arsenal. I think that was under Tim Sherwood. in our sort of relegation season, I think it was, or maybe something like that. But yeah, we haven't been past the fourth round since then. And I think this is a good opportunity for us to go a little bit deeper. We do have some good sort of squad depth. We are obviously got some injuries and suspensions that, we need to contend with as well. But if you look at our record in the FA Cup, it's not good reading. So last season, knocked out by Chelsea. Year before, Stevenage. Year before that, you've got United. Then you've got Liverpool, Fulham, Swansea. What's that? Peterborough, I think it was, as well. So, it's just not... Yeah, we've struggled in this competition. Unai Emery is supposed to be a cup expert, but he's obviously given more priority to sort of European sort of cups and like Conference League and going far in those sorts of competitions rather than domestic competitions. Obviously, we got knocked out of the EFL Cup, Carabao Cup, whatever it's called now, by Crystal Palace earlier in the season, which was hugely disappointing. We went with a largely kind of rotated team for that game. And as much as you want to rest players and, give opportunities to certain players, you don't want to be changing the whole 11 and going with players that haven't played together like we did in the Palace game, because you can't just put 11 players out on the pitch and expect it to look nice. There's going to be no kind of patterns of play, no familiarity. So we do need to have certain positions where we are going strong. And I think I'll come on to what I think the team lineup should be. And as I said, there is players that are in transfer talks looking to go out. We've had news about Kosta Nedeljkovic. Valencia are showing an interest in him, and I think there are talks underway there to take him on loan. I think they recently appointed Carlos Calderon from West Bromwich Albion, and I can guarantee that Carlos Calderon was probably eyeing Nedeljkovic for a loan deal for West Brom. But now that he's got the Valencia job and he's only been there for a couple of weeks, he's probably identified, I still do need a right back actually. Let me go down to my shortlist and see who we were looking at. There's Nedeljkovic. Can we still get him here? Obviously, Enzo Baranachea is doing well there. They got beat just about by Real Madrid last week. But yeah, so Kosta Nedeljkovic going there would probably be a good thing, probably get regular minutes, and he probably needs that at his age. So yeah, it'd be good to see what happens there. And if that does progress and get put through, which I think it will, then we are probably looking to bring in a right back, whether that's at Wesley Franca or Mingueza. Let's see. But I don't want to turn this into another transfer talk. This is a match preview. So, yeah, I think, we've got to look out for Ward-Prowse for them as well. He's dangerous on the set pieces. Paquetá's always played well against us. They used to have a player called Fornals who used to have his 10 out of 10 game of the season against us, but luckily he's moved on. But, yeah, probably Danny Ings or Füllkrug up front, I would imagine. And then, yeah, they're just dangerous from set pieces as well. They've got sort of good height at the back. Wan-Bissaka's done well for them at right back. Kilman's in there. Got Mavropanis. So, it's going to be difficult. We want to make it an occasion. Obviously, it's our anniversary game. And we definitely want to sort of progress in this competition. So, yeah, team lineup-wise, if we're looking at it, you got an argument there of, goalkeeper-wise, Emi Martinez, should he play in this game? Should we rest him? If he does pick up an injury, then where does that leave us for the rest of the month? If there is an opportunity to rest Emi, it is probably this game. But then you've only got sort of Robin Olsen, who I think he's only played one game this season, to come in. Joe Gauci looks like he could be going to Belgian side on loan. So not sure that they would want to play him and risk him and risk any injury to him and scupper that move. So it's more likely that Robin Olsen will probably go in goal for this game, rather than sort of risking Martinez. So Robin Olsen in goal. Right back situation, obviously, if Kosta's off, then he's off. And it's going to be difficult to sort of have another right back. We've got Kane Kessler-Hayden on loan at Preston. We don't have many options. So Matty Cash may have to just play this game. He's obviously missed a few games through injury and suspension anyway this season. So he should be kind of fresh and ready to go anyway. If it's not Matty Cash, then the only other backup that we've got at the moment, I would say, is Lamar Bogard. And I really wouldn't fancy him playing at right back. I'd probably go with Matty Cash to begin with and see how we get on with that. And then centre-back wise, this is where it's going to be delicate because obviously, we've lost Pau Torres. we've got Tyrone Mings, who's still in his recovery stage, even though he's available for selection and played 90 minutes. But you don't want to overload him too soon. And obviously, we've got more important games coming up where we're going to need Tyrone Mings. So for me, he sits out this game. And we go with hopefully Diego Carlos is back. And if he is, he plays left centre back. And then the right centre back is, you are down to the bare bones here. It's either, you go with Ezri Konsa, who probably needs a rest as well. But then again, you don't want to change too much of the lineup, as I mentioned, in terms of familiarity and patterns of play. So it's either Konsa or Swinkles. But again, the talks are that Swinkles could be going on loan to Wickham. So again, is there any point sort of playing him in this? And he's then sort of cup tied. So I think Ezri Konsa and Carlos at centre back, and put Carlos at left centre back. He's done it before. He can play from the left, so it's not going to be a major problem. And then left back, I think Ian Maatsen comes in, obviously changed the game for us against Leicester, and just gives us that attacking output, which I think we're going to need in this game as well. So give Luca Digne a bit of a rest for this one, so Ian Maatsen can slot in there, which is a good replacement to have. And then in front of that, I think Boubacar Kamara has played a lot of football since he's come back from injury. This could be a game for him just to sit out. We didn't see anything of Amadou Onana against Leicester. So he should be fresh and ready to go. So I think Amadou Onana at sort of in the double pivot. And I would play him alongside the man of the match against Leicester, Ross Barkley. So I'd partner Onana and Barkley together as a CDM partnership. Giving Barkley that little bit of license to break forward slightly. But yeah, that's what I would go with in that sort of double pivot. And just give Boubacar Kamara, put him on the bench and just see how the game's going. If we need to bring him on, see how the game, then fair enough. But I don't think we should be overloading him. And this is a chance just to give him a bit of a break. And then ahead of that, Youri Tielemans has played a lot of football lately. And again, he's probably another player that could probably do the rest. He's does give a lot of energy, a lot of good output. But we've got Buendia, who arguably had his best performance since he's come back from his injury. I know he's only had, a little bit of appearances here and there when he's come off the bench, and it's not been a lot of time. This could be a chance for Buendia to start in that number 10 position, so play further up the pitch centrally. I thought he did very well against Leicester when he came on, sort of supporting Ollie Watkins. Could have had a couple of goals in truth. He probably should have. So I would probably go with Buendia in that 10. And then either side of that, you've got obviously Morgan Rogers is available now after his suspension, so he could come in and play from the left, or you could give minutes to Jacob Ramsey, who obviously needs minutes and confidence. So it's really a toss-up between the two, really. So Morgan Rogers or Jacob Ramsey. I'm probably going to lean towards Jacob Ramsey for this, just purely for the minutes. See how he gets on for an hour, things like that, and have Morgan Rogers on that bench if we need him to come on and sort of, help us out a little bit towards the end of the game. So I'd go with Jacob Ramsey from the left. And then obviously McGinn's out as well. So that's obviously another injury there as well. And you've got Leon Bailey. There's talk about Philogene going to Everton or Ipswich. So I think his head is going to be, not in the game. We've got Leon Bailey, who scored the goal for us, the winner, a bit more confident. I think this is a game that he could continue. So I don't want to change too much. I would go with Leon Bailey from the right. So we'll have Tielemans on the bench. You can, change it around slightly there. Obviously, there's going to be some youngsters perhaps on the bench. Caden Young, for example, I would imagine he could be someone that would give you fresh legs sort of last 20 minutes of this game and give Bailey sort of the first 70. So yeah, Bailey from the right, Buendia in the 10, and then Ramsey on the left. I think that's still quite dangerous and potent. And then up front, Ollie Watkins kind of picks himself, really, because we don't really have any other options. And that's quite scary, because if something does happen to Ollie Watkins, I know they've got John Duran coming back from his suspension, hopefully, unless they add another game because of the water bottle kick and the audio that was released yesterday. Oh, my goodness. That has really just made the PGMOL, whatever they're called, an absolute shit show. I mean, the refs basically giving a red card, ignoring what he's heard from the his VAR officials, not even looked at the monitor, which was absolutely strange. And yeah, they haven't covered themselves in glory, because they were saying, oh, it looked reckless, caution him. And then it's like, oh no, actually, it's they agreed with the red because he flashed the red card. And all it does, and I think Dan Bardell mentioned this in his podcast today, is it basically says to oppositions, if something like that happens in a match, surround the referee, make him change his mind. And that's exactly what kind of Newcastle did. It was only because of the reaction of Newcastle players, the goalkeeper rushing out, the players surrounding the referee saying, oh, he's studied him in the back, that made that red card come out. And then VAR are reluctant to intervene. So all it's given now is a precedent to say, surround the referee, get in his face, make a meal about it, go down, feign if you do feel like some contact, go down, feign injury, cheat. It's a nonsense. This VAR was brought in for this exact reason, to get these sorts of decisions right, to look at it, slow it down, look at the monitor, and understand, if it is a red card, it has to be 100% clear cut. There cannot be any, guesswork in this one. It has to be 100% yes, that is deliberate. That is, and there's nobody can tell me that was deliberate. But anyway, Ollie Watkins up front, basically, for you. We haven't got many options apart from that, really. That's why I said maybe Morgan Rogers from the bench, because he could play up front. The youngsters got Ben Broggio. Obviously, Rory Wilson's in a bit of a contract dispute, so he probably won't be there. Is it Mason Kocha that we've got as well? We've had Jamal Aloba on the bench, I think, last game as well. So there's a couple of youngsters there. I mentioned Caden Young. I'd like to see maybe him play the last sort of 20 minutes or so in this as well. Maybe give Bailey a bit of a break. But yeah, so that would be my kind of predicted lineup. So Olsen, I'd go with Matty Cash. I'm going to go Ezri Konsa and Diego Carlos, and then Maatsen across the back. Amadou Onana, Ross Barkley as the CDMs. Emi Buendia in the 10. Leon Bailey and Jacob Ramsey as the supporting cast for Ollie Watkins up front. And I think that should be good enough to get a result. I really do. I think we should come away with, the win and progress to the next round. I think West Ham will probably rest a few players themselves as well, even though they want to win. But, they've got to prioritise getting points in the Premier League as well. And who knows who's going to be in charge of them. So, it could be, I think is it Kevin Nolan, the assistant there? But let's see. Obviously, Luke Lopetegui is still in charge as we speak. But, there's question marks over his tenure in this one. But, very much looking forward to the game. Friday night under the lights at Villa Park. Always, games under the lights at Villa Park are always special. Just hope that we can progress to the next round and hopefully get a nice, good win, clean bill of health, no injuries, no suspensions, nothing like that. And, we can march on into sort of Wednesday's game against Everton with some players that have got a well-deserved kind of rest. The likes of, Mings, Kamara, Tielemans, Luca Digne, Emi Martinez as well. So, that'll be a good little rest to have. And, hopefully, we're sealing some transfers as well. Daniel Marlon, hopefully that's going to be done. I think Philogene going out will, just accelerate that move. But, there haven't been any other sort of names sort of linked apart from those. But as soon as there are any new names, I'll jump straight back on. But, guys, let me know your thoughts on the my predicted lineup. Would you go with something similar? Would you want to go completely strong for this game? What is your score predictions? I'm going to go with an Aston Villa 3-1 win. I've got a feeling that we're going to get a few goals, and I think we'll score early, and we'll get a few more later on in the game to seal the game. But 3-1 Villa is my prediction. But let me know your prediction. Do like and subscribe to the channel. We're getting some excellent sort of viewerships now on the channel. I want to continue to grow this as well. So let me know your predictions in the comments, guys. Like and subscribe. And until the next video, which was going to be a instant match reaction for this one on Friday, unless we sign someone in the next sort of 24, 48 hours. See you then, up the Villa.